my mom always cut my hair. Mom, I love you, but because I'm her son, she kind of half-asses my fucking haircuts. She doesn't like pay attention to me. She'll be talking to her girlfriends.
Watching K-drama on the side.
And like, I'm like, Mom, that's too short. What? Okay. And then she just does it.
At some point, her scissors are in your nostril.
Yes. She's cutting my fucking nose hairs. Yeah. She doesn't really pay attention sometimes.
Welcome to the Worst Asian Podcast.
Wow.
Where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian.
Okay.
My name is Lingjie. I'm here with my co-host, Ben.
Okay.
Are you awake?
That woke me up, actually.
You came in very sleepy. I'm trying to up my energy so that you can wake up, mainly because that'll make my post-editing easier.
Actually, I'm pretty like up right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
You have coffee, and we have this Korean Red Bull. That's the closest thing I can think of. It's basically Korean Red Bull.
Bingo.
What's it called?
Bacchus.
Wait, it's called Bacchus?
Oh.
Bacchus?
Bacchus.
Like Bakugan? Toy? Bakugan?
Isn't Bacchus like a Greek god or some shit? Oh, man, yeah.
I was trying to think of either something funny or something real, and I realized I have nothing to work with on Bacchus.
Let's just say it is.
Bacchus, okay. Yeah, it's like a Korean Red Bull. Ben hasn't had this for a while, so I know he's extra tired when he brings this Korean Red Bull with him. Does this actually help you?
It does, actually.
So
Yes.
why have you not drank this yet?
I'm going to do it right now.
Ben's going to drink this Korean Red Bull, and maybe at some point during the episode, if you see that Ben gets a bit more excited, that's when you know the caffeine has kicked in.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's like Red Bull, dude.
It literally just tastes like Red Bull, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. If it wasn't for your germs, I would ask to actually have a sip of it, but you've already put your lips onto that. So, Ben, aside from being tired, how have you been this week?
Good, man. Been trying to work out.
Work out your mouth or work out your body?
Wow.
Hey, if you chew more, does that mean you get like a more chiseled jawline? How do you work out your chin, your jawline?
Oh, that's true, though.
By chewing, right?
By chewing gum and shit.
Oh, I just meant eat more food. I don't actually
I
feel
can't even
anything.
see you, actually. Fuck. This is like, yeah.
Once again, Ben and I are at a weird, awkward angle for the purposes of this video. So I'm looking through Ben via this boom arm. You know how like when you have a camera and you can't get the camera in focus on something?
Yeah.
Basically, my eyes can't get in focus on you right now.
Maybe we should just like FaceTime each other.
When we're 2 feet away from each other.
But yeah, man. Are you excited? For our guests that don't know, we are doing a 10K.
Yes, 10K. Because I don't understand the metric system whatsoever, I technically don't even know what a 10K actually is.
I think it's about like 6 miles.
Okay, that's not that bad then. I say this as a person that probably has not ran 6 miles in years.
Have you been training at all?
When did we sign up? A couple months ago?
It was like, less than a month now.
I have ran twice during the period that we first signed up.
Oh,
Only
shit.
twice outside. And each time I ran an astonishing singular mile.
For real? All right, that's not bad, man.
How about you?
Yeah, I haven't done any of that.
You haven't ran at all?
Nah.
When was the last time you actually put your feet together and walked fast?
At work, a basketball,
Oh yeah, you ran during basketball. Full court or half court?
full court, and I'm a little nervous,
Yes, because you haven't trained and it's coming up.
and I have to go to work after,
Oh, you're
I
going to
work-
run and go to work after? Maybe you should run to work.
and I have work before that.
Oh,
The
because you
night
have a late
before.
shift.
Yep.
You should run from your shift after you clock out and then run back to work.
I might be hungover for this race.
So you're already laying the foundations for having an excuse as to why you can't finish.
Nah, I'm gonna finish. I'm finishing. This
You know,
shit.
it's 6 miles. It's really not that much. Even if you
Yeah.
just run at a brisk pace towards the second half or the last couple miles,
Yeah.
it's really not that bad.
Or just carry me, easy.
Or just Uber. That's what you do best.
There you go.
Your best means of transportation is just Uber.
There you go, brother. Man, I sound really raspy. No,
You sound really tired.
no, my voice is like gone right now.
Thank you, Ben.
Why?
Because we have a doubleheader.
Yeah, boy.
And this is the first of a doubleheader.
Woo!
Oh, God.
Okay, how about I try changing my voice?
Okay, go for it.
How's this?
Yeah, try to do that for the whole thing.
For real?
That actually projects a little bit better.
This is better.
We'll see how it works.
All right, fuck it. Let's try this, son.
Anyways, what topic are we going to be talking about today?
Oh.
Okay, while you pull this up, because you're basically half asleep right now, I read a couple articles more recently, and I remember a couple years ago, even pre-pandemic, there was a bunch of news headlines talking about how specifically Chinese restaurants are declining at a really, really fast pace.
Yeah.
Mainly because they don't have any successor plans. Their kids, the restaurant owners' kids, don't want to take over the places anymore.
Oof. Okay.
And that kind of ties into what I've been seeing more recently, or what we've been seeing as well. Kids just don't really want to take over their mom and pop's small businesses.
But what are you trying to say now? This new generation?
You have some personal experience in this. Your mom has like a small business. Does she actually have any successor plans?
Nah, she didn't. There was one point when I was in junior high school, I was actually thinking like, oh, maybe I could be a hairstylist. Wow.
Sorry.
You're a dick.
Okay, here's the thing. When you make mistakes, right? Usually we can just glance over it. If you fucking make a mistake on someone's hair,
Yeah.
which I feel like you'll be prone to do,
Yeah.
that person has to walk around with that haircut for
Yeah.
multiple weeks.
But I remember I was trying to learn from my mom, right? And the first thing she teaches is like, you have to learn how to wash people's hair. So I was like, okay, let me try it. And I couldn't do it. I was like squeezing the head. It just, my hands are too big. Like, I think I made, the customer really uncomfortable.
At some point, your fingers went to their nostril.
Yeah, I think like I was strangling them and shit. It was like waterboard and stuff. So, I was like, Mom, I don't know why I thought I could do this, but, and
Wait,
I asked her
you
too.
actually practiced on customers?
Yeah.
She let you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you?
It was like in middle school.
12 to 14 years old, something like that?
Yeah. I was like, oh, let me try it and stuff. And I was like, nah, this isn't for me. And I asked my mom too. I was like, do you want me to do this?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, like, not really. Why do you want to do this shit?
Did you volunteer or did she ask you to come over and help?
I volunteered actually.
Did you think you were getting paid?
Nah, it's like a internship or whatever.
It's like a shitty unpaid internship.
Yeah. And then I got fired a first day and shit.
You really just did it for one day.
For one day, dude. It just feels uncomfortable. It just wasn't my thing.
I think if you actually put some commitment to it, maybe later in your life as a young adult, you might actually have learned something.
Maybe.
But then again, I'm looking at you now and you're in your mid-30s and you really haven't learned much, generally speaking. So,
side note, I asked my mom though. I was like, Mom, do you wish I was born as a girl? Because she, has
for
a beauty
salon
salon.
purposes.
Right. Like, oh, maybe like to make me pretty, do things with my hair and stuff. And she was actually like, no, thank God you're not a girl. Because you would be fucking here all the time asking for shit.
So female Ben would be much worse than the current male version of Ben.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Dude, I'm trying to picture you as a girl
Dude,
with your kind of attitude and your lackluster approach to life.
I'll be a baddie.
Would you picture yourself as a, what's that called?
Attractive?
ABG?
What's that shit called? Asian
baby girl.
Asian baby girl? I don't think so, dude. I have like masculine features. Like, look at this fucking forehead.
I don't mean literally that you're just right now with long hair. I mean, if you're actually physically a girl, but with the same mental attitude.
I don't know, dude.
100%, the only way that you could survive is if you become a gold digger.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Gold digger, OnlyFans. Yeah, I'll just go sit at the bar at like some...
Half naked.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll be like, hey, Tiger. If you're a hot girl, it's a good privilege, no?
It kind of is. I mean, if you're a hot guy, do you get any kind of those privileges when you go to a bar? Whatever it takes to get free drinks. Whoever will buy you free drinks, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, there you go.
So getting back to it then, your mom has no succession plans then, right?
No, we talked about it. She kind of has like a timeline when she wants to like end it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's had the business for over 30 years now.
That's a long ass time.
Right?
That's literally almost your entire life.
Yeah, I grew up in that salon like pretty much like as a kid. I played in it, like after school. I went there and stuff.
Do you have any emotional attachment to it? Not the actual business itself, but I guess just the idea of your mom working in the salon.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how you would feel if one day your mom just says, okay, this is done and we're just going to close up.
Yeah. It would be really, really sad because it's like, that's all my mom has. It's her identity. And it was like a second home. It will be sad. And also, sorry, I know my volume is really low.
Yeah, please, guys, disclaimer today, Ben actually has a sore throat. So
yeah,
let's see how he powers through this.
Yeah. But my mom got on Vogue when they did that piece about
Vogue magazine.
Yeah.
Ben's mom was actually on Vogue magazine. If you go back to our social media pages a little bit further back to sometime early last year, mid last year.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, we did a posting where Ben's mom was actually featured, not on the cover of Vogue.
She's not up there with like Zendaya and stuff like that.
But in there was an article about flushing up businesses, and her salon was actually featured there as well.
My mom is like more famous than us.
Is your mom more famous than us?
I don't know. But I was like...
I mean, your mom has a better resume, technically, because being featured on Vogue is pretty good.
True.
Although we were featured on Vulture very, very briefly. That's something. Anyways, enough tuning our own horns. Does she know like what she's going to do? Just completely close up shop or actually try to sell the business?
That's the thing. She has no idea what to do.
Huh.
And that's the thing. Like, that's her life. It's kind of like NBA player retiring.
Mm-hmm.
They only know basketball.
So they become a coach for a college team maybe, or an assistant coach on the NBA level.
Yeah. The saddest part about all of this that's going to happen is my mom always cut my hair. And
I see where this is going.
And, you know, like,
you fucking selfish bastard.
No. It's kind of like, oh shit. Like, there's going to be a point where, you know, like, she won't be doing that.
And you have to pay for haircuts.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, she always did it for me.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, oh man, like, that's going to be gone. That kind of dynamic kind of thing.
Okay, you're talking about the relationship part of it. That's like an intimate thing.
Not the fucking money
Yo,
part.
I thought you legit were just bitching because soon you're going to have to pay a monthly subscription to get a haircut.
Nah, man. And also, dude, speaking of like, mom, I love you. But because I'm her son, she kind of half-asses my fucking haircuts. She doesn't like pay attention to me. She'll be talking to her girlfriends.
Watching K-drama on the side.
Yeah, dude, to the ajumas. And like, I'm like, mom, that's too short. What? Okay. And then she just does it.
At some point, her scissors are in your nostril.
Yes. She's cutting my fucking nose hairs. And yeah, she doesn't really pay attention sometimes. So I'm like, okay. But I do pay my mom, actually, for the haircut.
Do you pay your mom?
Yeah.
And she actually takes it?
Yeah, dude. Asian moms, you know, with money. They're like, oh, okay.
Actually, technically, I don't know about Asian moms with money. It's a little bit different, right? Maybe she doesn't want you to beat her so much. She's like going to charge you more and more each time.
And yeah.
There's going to be a point where she charges you so much that she would rather actually go somewhere else.
Dude, the haircuts, my half-ass haircuts from my fucking, you know, lovely mom are very expensive. I pay a lot of money for them. So
how well do you tip your own mother?
It ranges from total 60 to 100.
Wow. You know what? I feel this is also a channel for you to just give your mom money.
Yeah.
And just use that as an excuse like, hey, mom, I'm going to help you out by just giving you some money here.
Exactly.
Ben gets a haircut every single day.
And I clean up after myself on top of it. I'm like scooping my own hair and shit.
And drying up the blood on the floor. Because she's really into that K-drama today.
Yo, what's it? You want to get a haircut from my mom?
I do.
Do it.
But I also don't want to give your mom $100 because I feel like I would definitely way over tip.
You're gonna feel that guilt, right? And you're like, I have to.
Your mom actually might fight me not to take the money.
Yeah, she won't.
She'll definitely not take the money, which means I have to fight so hard just to give her more money. And I'm gonna give her so much more money because I know her.
Yeah.
If I have to get like a haircut every 3 weeks for $200, I really can't afford that.
Just you know, come by for one time.
I don't actually think I've ever gotten a haircut from your mom.
Do it, bro.
Did I get one when I was younger?
I don't know, but either you'll love it or you're gonna be really pissed off, and I'm gonna be there for it.
Get the bandages ready.
Yes,
or just like turn off our TV subscription. No Netflix during that day.
She's just gonna shave your fucking head like right down the middle and everything.
All right, so kind of wrapping this back, the culture that you talked about experiencing, like being at the salon and growing up there.
Right.
The one thing that I will use as an example throughout this whole episode, but that's not the only type of business, but I think it connects with a lot of people easier. Like they can picture it and imagine it a little bit easier.
Okay.
Chinese takeout family.
Perfect example.
Chinese takeout pop-up places are all over the fucking country. You could be in the middle of nowhere, town, Missouri somewhere, and they'll probably have a Chinese takeout place.
Yeah. Every little town will always have that one Chinese takeout place.
And it's usually run by a family who has basically given up a lot by moving to the fucking middle of nowhere to at very times be the only Asian family in that little small area.
That's true.
So the Chinese family takeout dynamic that I'm talking about is kids that are part of a family that runs the business. So the two parents run the business like full time. And then the kids basically grow up in the restaurant. So they'll come out of school. They go back to the restaurant to either finish off the homework and then help or just go directly into helping pack orders or take orders and stuff like that.
We kind of have a friend that is in that business.
Do we?
Yeah. I don't want to say his name, but it rhymes with Bam.
Oh,
right?
That's his last name. Okay, Mr. Bam, I think you might be listening to this episode right now, but he's actually no longer in the amazing Chinese takeout industry.
Yeah. How long did he own that business?
His family owned it for a long ass time, for as long as I can remember. I think when I first met him, they had the restaurant back in high school.
So like 20 years?
Let's just say 15 years, 15, 20 years. And
Yeah.
feel free to send me a text after you hear this just to tell me that it's only been 3 years. And I was completely wrong. It turns out like in high school, his parents were like stock traders.
Actually, I don't know shit about what he did there, but did he help at all?
I feel like I want to shit on him
Yeah.
because this is the few opportunities I have.
Right?
And he's not here to defend himself. I don't feel like he himself did much.
Can he cook?
Hell no, this guy can't cook.
For real?
If a kid grows up in a Chinese food restaurant environment, you should think they should be a great cook. They
Yeah.
should be an amazing cook.
Yeah, at least you have to know like how to use a wok and like certain things and shit.
I think because they're exposed to the cooking culture so much, they just want to get the fuck away from it as much as they can.
Do you think the kids growing up, right? Do you think they're a little embarrassed about it?
I guess we can just get into that right now. Some of the reasons why a kid may not want to take over his family's business, or for this example, let's say his Chinese takeout business, is because there's a stigma around owning like a Chinese takeout place.
It's not a glamorous thing to take over, but
It's not.
I mean, like, I would be excited to have it.
Well, that's because you kind of don't give a shit and you're at a later point in your life. Imagine if it's a teenager or someone going to college, they look at their family and say, I have to take over this singular Chinese takeout place.
Yeah.
That's not something that you're going to like really brag about unless you're a really good kid that just knows the value of the hard work that your parents put in. You would
Yeah.
rather go out there and have a standard traditional career.
Also, I wonder how much like racism they had to deal with.
That probably depends on where the restaurant is.
I feel like it's just all the time.
If you have a Chinese takeout restaurant in the middle of Chinatown, like Flushing or something,
All right, fine, yeah.
that's
right.
like, it's not going to be too bad, right?
You know, like I never thought about this, but going on this topic, I didn't realize like how many like different things go into all this. The whole family situation, growing up as a kid, also just dealing with like a lot of fucking racism. That's the biggest thing I always think about.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous job.
It's not to say anything negative about where some of these small Chinese takeout places are being
Yeah.
opened up or even the small mom and pop shops, but it's not as if you're, for the most part, opening up a small Asian owned business in fucking Times Square where it's relatively safe.
But what I'm trying to say is like, there's some areas, right, in the city, right? It's dangerous. And there's always a Chinese takeout spot.
There's always a Chinese takeout
Right.
spot because most neighborhoods, grocery store, Chinese takeout spot, liquor store.
It's crazy because like when you go into some of them, they have like fucking like bulletproof walls and shit.
Yeah, there are some places that we've been to
They have
where-
like cages and
which
stuff.
is crazy to think that a Chinese food restaurant would be like a bank.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No one really thinks about it, but you don't see that with other businesses.
I mean, maybe in those neighborhoods you do see that.
I guess.
I've been to a lot of liquor stores where they
Yeah.
have that same thing too,
That's
but
true.
then they also open pretty damn late.
Yeah.
If you're a kid and you go to your mom's takeout place to work after school every day and you're behind bulletproof glass, that's not a very enticing offer for you to take over.
Right? And maybe that plays into the part where you're saying like, oh, I want nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
That's a legit reason.
It's one thing to hate what you have and then just run away from it. It's another better reason where it's like, okay, my parents are struggling to get me through here now. I'm going to put myself in a better position by making more money at a more prestigious career. It's kind of like glass half full, glass half empty. You're in the exact same situation, but your mentality in terms of how you deal with that is completely different.
You know, like we're talking about all this and stuff, but I keep thinking about Zhang's famous foods.
Yes, that's the Szechuan noodle place here in Flushing.
Yeah. So it's like it was a hole in the wall, right?
Yep.
And then like the son kind of helped with like the business and he blew it up, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the middle ground, I guess
That's
you
the
can say.
ideal situation
Right.
where a kid can still own his family's business, but then expand it to a much bigger chain or brand or something like that, where he can take his modern American skills that he's learned here in terms of business. It really is the best of both worlds.
Right.
Something like it's Xiang's famous food. I know.
I don't know,
Yo,
bro.
I know someone's gonna. Oh, someone always calls us out on our pronunciation of shit.
Xiang's famous foods, right?
He has a cookbook. Pretty sure
I
he has a
believe
cook-
you. I believe you.
Pretty sure he has a cookbook.
And he has like 900 fucking restaurants and
It's probably
stores and
not
shit.
900 fucking restaurants. You know that your brand has expanded pretty big when you're kind of like in the city next to a Chipotle.
Yeah, it's like the Asian Starbucks and shit.
The thing is, not every business turns out like that. 99.9% of business don't turn out like that.
Right.
It's one thing to actually want to help your parents' business expand and to actually have it succeed.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if he did the same thing and it just went nowhere, we would be looking at that story completely differently.
Yeah. Also, didn't Anthony Bourdain? He came to that spot, right?
Yeah. he went there, and I think that was one of the first times where that place was shown publicly to a lot of people.
A really good example of like what we're talking about is, do you remember Kane's Diner?
Kane's Diner?
Remember in Queens on College Point Boulevard?
Okay.
Like, do you know why it shut down?
Yeah, because they sold the property because a lot of money.
Well, not only that, actually. So the father, he passed away and all that, right?
Okay.
So the kids actually, they all live in Florida. So during the whole time, they've been trying to operate it from Florida.
You cannot remote work from home a restaurant.
I don't know, but there was like a whole article about it. They were saying like it's just too difficult to like keep it open and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And nobody wanted to move back here to New York to deal with it?
Exactly, yeah. So I was like, damn, that's another example of like, family passed down, business, has a name and stuff.
In that case, also, they had the alternate option where they sell that property because they own the actual land that the restaurant was on.
Yeah.
So it's continue to operate this restaurant remotely, work from home style.
Yeah.
Or just sell it for a shitload of money.
Yo, like, can I ask you this then? Like, how fucked are brick and mortar businesses in New York?
What do you mean?
It's a humongous risk because of the price of property.
Yeah, but opening up a business, and you should know this from personal experience, opening up any kind of restaurant, even if you don't factor in the fucking cost of real estate,
yeah,
more likely than not, you're not going to succeed.
So I guess like
the risk has always inherently been there.
It's kind of like the American dream, having like a small business stuff. Is it kind of just getting hard to the point where like it's like, yo, it's not even worth it?
Yo, I want to push back on that because everyone says the
American dream
is that. I don't necessarily think it's that.
Oh, okay.
I think with a lot of people now, it's not just I want to run a business.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, a lot of people, because they want the work-life balance now, there's a big shift to that. When you run your own business, you're dedicating an absurd number of hours into it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5. You're fucking doing everything from morning to night, weekends, whenever, on vacation. You're at call because it is your entire business. That's your life.
What was the closest experience to you doing that?
I've never had that.
Starting your own thing?
This podcast is probably the closest thing. And the hardest part about this podcast, aside from you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's right here, this motherfucker right here.
I'm going to take another couple minutes to vent right now.
Lingjie's going to take a shot of whiskey as we speak right now.
The last 6-7 recordings you have been late for or canceled.
I have not realized that.
Do you think you've been on time?
No, that I know.
Okay.
That I definitely know.
Do you realize the extent of, in the past you would just be late and now you're in the mood to just cancel or reschedule?
Not the mood.
You are the mood. I've always said this about your personality and I love this venting. This makes me feel a little bit better.
All right. If it makes you feel better, I deserve it. So go on.
You will always take an easier avenue if one is presented to you. If I was working today, if I had like a full-time job and I was working on a Wednesday and we scheduled for a Tuesday, you would not even consider asking me, hey, can we just postpone to Wednesday, the following day? Because I know you could have come yesterday to do it, but it was probably not as easy given maybe you retired from work or any other situations. But because there is an easy cop-out avenue, you always take that avenue. This is not just about the podcast, but this is about your personality in general.
Damn.
If I can cop out and do something that's slightly easier because it's there and accessible to me, I will take that avenue.
Fuck. God damn it. We got David Goggins in the house right here.
I charge $150 per hour for my therapy session. And you don't leave them feeling any better about yourself. You might leave them feeling more.
Fuck, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right. God damn it.
Remember I talked about I'm looking for a full-time job. I'm in the process of doing that.
Yes.
There's going to be a time when scheduling is going to be even harder, where I just can't say, yeah, sure, I'm not doing anything tomorrow either. So let's just push it back to tomorrow.
You know what? You're right. It's not about, I got to work on that. So.
Bitch, you're 36 years old. What the hell are you still working on?
Bro, man, I'm so learning.
Ben is so glad that the life expectancy is constantly increasing.
Yeah, so I have more time to fuck up, but you are right about that.
What was I talking about? You got me all flustered.
We're talking about generational businesses, and it had nothing to do with me. Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Let's get back into some other reasons why a kid would not want to take over their business.
Okay.
Okay, the negative we said is there's a stigma against, basically they're embarrassed to take over that business. They would rather do something that's more prestigious. That's from the kid side, right?
Okay.
Let's just think about it from the other side. If you're the parent, you, Ben, I'm sure you have some secret offspring somewhere.
I love you.
Your secret offsprings, you want to take care of them, right?
Yes.
You want to give them the best possible life. So you struggle to work in whatever business that you decide to open. Would you actually want your kid to continue doing, let's say, your long ass hours in that business?
It depends. It depends on what I have, actually.
Let's say it's a moderately successful business where You put in a lot of hours, as all
Uh-huh.
small businesses do, but you make a middle income living from it.
All right, so I'm Korean, so I'm gonna say I own a very clean deli.
Yo, Korean delis.
Right?
Korean delis are the cleanest delis.
Right. So let's use that, right? I already know from the jump, my son or daughter is gonna fucking hate me.
Why?
Because it's the fucking deli, bro. Like they have to come in and like do all the shit. It's the same
Long hours, same shit.
right. I think it falls in the same thing as like Chinese takeout. Nothing wrong with Chinese takeout, but I can see how like some kids are like, nah, I don't associate with that. So for me, it's not an upgrade for my child to like run this.
Mm.
Unless like, I don't know, like I actually designed something and it was like I created something,
Right.
then that's gonna be different. It's like, yo, I actually do need you. There is no ifs or buts. You're
Right.
forced. Or I cut your money off.
So if it's a moderately successful business that basically is you just having a middle income job, you would not want your kids to live that life.
Nah. I want them to like, figure out what they like to do and stuff.
So then
You
that's
know?
a positive, right? So if your kid is actually doing something else instead of taking over your average income deli,
Right.
then you would be happy for him. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that Asian businesses are closing because of that.
Yeah. You know the show Kim's Convenience?
Yeah.
That was kind of like the, synopsis of it. The father was like so, like into his, the deli and stuff. He didn't care about what the daughter interests were and stuff like that. It was always about the deli. You got to work. You got to be here. You got to work.
Mm.
So I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that Appa.
I mean, the humorous take was, yes, he wanted the kids to work at the deli
He was like, you have dreams? Oh, fuck that.
because that's free labor.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck
But I
your
think
dreams.
the ultimate takeaway was that he was happy seeing his kids go out and approach something a little bit different than him.
Right. Ultimately, yes.
Because you're
right.
building something so that your kids have a better thing to do.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you like? It's like saying if you have a kid right now and he went to a random country, learned a new language, open up a business there to struggle.
Holy
You wouldn't want
shit.
that for your kid. No,
Oh,
right?
Shit. Wait. He like left America
Right.
and like he wanted to start his own thing.
Because you, as the first generation parent, that's what you did. You came to a random foreign country, didn't
Yeah.
speak the language, opened up a business to make money because it's hard to find a job when you don't speak the language.
Right.
Like you wouldn't want your kid to do some similar thing like that in a different country.
Okay. All right. I see what you mean. But it depends though. Like if my son or daughter's like, hey, I want to go fucking be in the WNBA or the NBA.
It's a,
Back when I'm like, oh, you're fucked.
come to this deli.
Yeah, but
You're coming to
yeah.
this deli right now.
Just have a backup plan. Try it. If he has a legit shot, I'm cool with it.
Quick
Right?
side note, I was listening to Jeremy Lin. He was saying something about how he didn't realize at the time his parents were very supportive of his chase to become a NBA player.
Yeah.
So when he got drafted, he was struggling himself to like make money and still try and make it in the
Yeah,
NBA.
he had like no place to like stay pretty much every time he was on a team.
And he was eating like instant noodles and shit. So his mom basically said, you know what? You're fucking trying to excel at a sport that requires your body to excel. You can't eat instant noodles and shit, right? You have to feed yourself the best stuff that you can. Here's some money. Go chase your dream for 2 years.
Wow.
And then Jeremy said that at the time he didn't know, but later he found out that his mom took money out of her retirement fund
No way.
to give him money so that he could like properly take care of his body and himself
Yeah.
during the time that he was chasing his dream.
Wow, that's amazing. Same thing with people aren't gonna know this, but Patrick Beverly.
Oh,
They have no. He's not Asian, by the way, guys. If you couldn't tell, yeah. But he was like a nomad NBA, right? Like he was getting cut constantly, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he had to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to stay on a team.
What do you mean pay who?
I think at the time it was the Bulls or the Heat, and his mom was funding him the checks and stuff.
Why would you have to pay your team to be on the team?
That's how like bad he was. He was just like a walk on.
So what are you paying for? Like lodging and food?
No, just to fucking like be accepted and get a shot on the court and stuff.
I have to check this part, but okay. Go on.
So yeah, Patrick Beverly was saying like, yo, I was struggling like crazy. My mom was taking out tens and thousands of dollars just so I could chase my dream.
Mm.
And it's like, damn, like going back to the whole Jeremy Lin thing. You want to have a business. It's a good problem to have, right? If you have a business,
Right.
you can use to self-sustain and like create opportunity. That's
Right.
the whole point of it.
It's a
right?
good problem to have. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing. I just hope the kids that come from these businesses don't come off like fucking like spoiled.
Why would it be? Because in theory, if your kids coming home from school every day to your restaurant and learning that they have to put in hard work from a very early age, they should statistically not turn out like that because they've learned the value of hard work.
I know some guys that, have a very successful business, family owned, and they don't do jack shit.
Like I said, that depends on what they've done. So if you just have a family that owns a business, you're never at the factory, you're never doing anything, and you're just reaping the rewards of that business, then yeah, you haven't learned shit.
Like you're just grabbing the stuff off the fucking like assembly lines. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna take these. Thanks, mom.
That's different. If you're actually putting in like some effort, or you're watching day in, day out, your parents put in that effort, I think that you have to learn the value of hard work. I guess the main point there is that you want your kids to succeed. You want your kids to have a better life than you do. So it's actually okay as the parent to not have your business be inherited by your kids.
Are you a little worried that Chinese takeout restaurants are going to be extinct?
I'm not sure why you asked that question that way.
You know, now we're talking about it, right? Like no one's going to keep it up and stuff.
There is going to be a generation of restaurants that close just because no one wants to take them in.
Right.
We're talking about it now, but the kids not wanting to take it over because of either they're just hate the business for stupid ass reasons, or they actually, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, if you're a good kid
I get it.
and you have nothing else better to do, take over your fucking parents' business, okay?
Yeah, and yo, dude, like working in a restaurant, it's fucking hard.
It is hard, but it teaches you a lot of different things. Anyways, or you could be the other kids where you actually become like a fucking doctor or like a rocket scientist. So clearly that is a better path. Aside from that, what I'm trying to say is there's external factors. I think there's less immigration into this country because a lot of times the turnover was also that if you couldn't pass it on to your kids, you would sell the business.
Right.
But you would only sell the business to someone that wants to also hustle like that. And usually that's other immigrants.
Right.
So if you have less immigration come into this country, then you have less of a clientele to purchase these businesses if the kids don't take it.
Fuck, man. That was a great point. I totally forgot what the fuck I wanted to ask you now. God damn it, man. It was a good one too.
Yes, because you kept trying to interrupt me in the middle of a point.
Yo, I know. You saw it, right?
I just kept talking. I'm like, Ben, I'm in the middle of my point. Shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Fuck, what was I going to say, man? Oh, come on, Ben. What the fuck, bro?
I was talking about kids becoming doctors, not wanting to it.
Oh, now I remember. Yo, if you're it's like, yo, dad, I want to open a Chinese takeout spot. You cool with it?
Yeah, I'm cool. If he uses his own money, I'm cool with that. If my kid wants to pursue any kind of dream and it's not just a half-ass approach, if he legitimately wants to do anything in his life, whether it's something that's going to be very profitable or something that is not going to be, I'm always up for it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that. He's going to keep the tradition alive, bro. Yeah.
So aside from like the obvious cultural reasons and the kids and whatnot and immigration and shit, is there any other reason why a lot of these like small Asian-owned businesses, such as takeouts, are actually dying out nowadays?
You know, there's two things I was thinking about. Like, number one, technically a Chinese takeout place, right? It's pretty successful. Like if you open one, right, in the right location, it should do well and thrive, right?
You know what's funny? Chinese takeout places, although it's not like a franchise or anything,
right?
People have an expectation of a Chinese takeout place that's universally accepted.
Every place should have a solid, like all the things that
yeah,
it should taste universally the same.
Right.
If you had to open a business, a Chinese takeout spot is actually a good idea, no?
It depends on the competition too. That's why a lot of people open up the spots in the middle of nowhere, because if you have like a random town here and there that doesn't have a Chinese takeout spot, number one, you have zero competition. And number two, like I said, people already know what to expect from a Chinese takeout place. So even if it has any random ass name, they know that they're going to get X, Y, and Z at a Chinese takeout place.
Also, do you happen to know how much it costs to open a Chinese takeout place?
I feel like you would know this better than me because you work in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
We just never pay attention.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. I want to say 150K.
Where is that number coming from? I love how you just throw out numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they don't come from any kind of like context. Or
I don't know. What's it? Maverick Chicken?
Maverick Chicken, the Korean fried chicken place here in New York City.
Yes.
I have to say this because most of our listeners are not from Flushing, Queens.
That's true. It's a Korean fried chicken franchise, but I was like trying to see like, how much does it cost to like franchise this?
Okay.
And it's a lot of money. But
how much money?
The worst part about it is that if you open it, they take 50% of like everything.
Revenue, net revenue?
Yeah.
Most franchise systems are something like that.
McDonald's,
that bad? The percentage, I have no fucking idea, right?
But
they always take a cut of it because they're supplying you with the brand, the IP. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And they also have the supply chain that you can just get everything off of.
I think the number one thing, going back to what you said, is it's just too expensive, I feel like. But the good thing about that kind of stuff now is Chinese takeout spots, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be people that just take over it. It's all set up. You have everything ready.
There's always going to be some people that want to buy a pre-existing business. But if you have a smaller influx of people willing to put in that kind of work.
Yeah, dude, like this is gonna sound stupid, but like, why is immigration down? You were bringing it up before, but
This
like,
is a very complicated subject that I probably am not too qualified to speak on. There's multiple factors. A lot of it also is that the difference between the quality of life now in a lot of Asian countries as opposed to here in America, that difference is decreasing. So
oh,
you look back decades ago, the average quality of life, let's say in China, mainland China, as opposed to here in America, was substantially different.
yeah,
But now, because those countries and their economies are prospering more, that balance is not that big of a deal anymore.
okay, gotcha.
You might still come to America to learn, educate, go to college, but then you just go back home and just, live your life because it's pretty good over there as is. That's one thing.
Okay.
And then something that's like much broader is the immigration policies of this country and how we look to the external world has its wrinkles more so than ever, and that's being presented to them.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. I had no idea actually.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk,
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
my mini tech talk.
So going back to small business, right? Even big corporations are like shutting down now.
That also like makes me think, if you think about in our immediate area, a
Right.
lot of the new Asian restaurants that are being opened up, most of them are not a single person or business. They're large corporate entities, either from overseas or just like a group of investors with money.
Yeah, that's true. I think what's in Flushing, there's Papa Rich. That's also, I believe, it's like a franchise and
Yeah.
stuff. It's great and awesome, but
From my experience, I don't
Yeah.
know. You can speak on this better, but it doesn't seem like a lot of owners are just working at the restaurants 24/7. It's more like, I've got some extra money. I'm going to pool in with other investors. We're going to open them a business and then just hire management.
okay, yeah. I'll be honest with you. My new job, that's kind of how it feels actually.
Yeah.
And then they'll check back like randomly, you
Yeah.
know? So like an angel investor, is that what you call it and shit?
Quiet
Okay.
owner, passive owner,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, like my cousin owns a sandwich shop on Bell Boulevard, right? He's in there like fucking slaving and shit.
So-
And he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, yo, I ran out of bread. He's like out running in. Like he freaks the fuck out all the time and shit, yelling at the vendors.
That's the real Asian American experience.
Yeah, and he fucking hates it. Like he's like, fuck.
And he's
But
struggling just to make like a small amount of money because it's fucking tough.
and I guess it's like I would do a food truck. That would
Yo,
be,
food trucks are such a good idea.
yeah, right.
I have no fucking. Actually, you know what? I take back my statement that I just said
Why?
because I remember a couple years ago I looked into how much it would cost to open up a food truck
How much?
because in New York City there's permits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those permits, and this was true back then. I'm not sure if it's true now. A couple years later, you sometimes have to resell the permits, similar to what we have for the taxi system.
Oh, gotcha.
Where there is a limited amount of permits for things like that.
I'm doing a pause sign. Timeout. I gotta take a leak.
Okay, Ben has to pee. Okay, and Ben is back, and he had a very, very long piss and very, very loud. I'm
Oh.
2 rooms away, and I heard that piss. Welcome back, Ben. I have found a new co-host.
God damn it.
During that whole time you were gone,
Yeah, Lingjie was on LinkedIn right now.
only criteria I have is don't cancel and come on time.
What's it? Pretty much. I got replaced by ChatGPT at this point.
Can I
believe.
ask you a question? This is totally off topic.
What's up?
Do you think tardiness, lateness is genetic or it's just a learned quality? Nature versus nurture. Is it learned or is it part of your DNA?
Oh, it's not DNA. Why would it be DNA?
Because I look at you and I think at some point you would have learned to not be as late as you are right now.
You're not gonna believe me, but I've gotten better, and it's still not good enough. So if that fucking sucks,
It's like a drop of water in the ocean.
yeah, that's a good example. I'm gonna throw some David Goggins shit on you, but yeah, like I have no excuses. Yeah, you're right. Like,
You guys can't see this, but Ben has just like a very befuddled face.
yeah, I'm just fucking speechless. Like Lingjie's right. Like
He's
yeah.
searching for answers, but
There's
he
no
has no
answers.
fucking answers.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm.
That's
fucked,
why
bro.
I'm saying you try. I can actually tell you try whatever your quote unquote trying is.
Yeah,
It just doesn't work. So
I know. You're looking at me like, how's Ben alive? Right? You're like, this is a human being.
I'm amazed you have a job.
Yo, I know, and in like a high position too. That's the crazier part.
There's tons of people I know that are our age, maybe even slightly younger, that just don't know what the fuck they're going with their lives. So they're actually not homeless, but they're stay at home, mom's kind of basement kind of style that we're thinking about.
Okay.
But they have the same mental capacity as you.
Uh-huh.
And then I look at you and think, you know what? Ben has a full-time job. He has a managerial position. He has people that rely on him.
I don't know. Like, it makes sense. It works.
Once again, Ben is a savant. Ben is literally Rain Man for the hospitality industry.
That's right, yo.
That's the only thing you can do correct. Your brain only activates when someone gives you a tray to pass to a customer.
But at the same time, every time you came through, great experience.
Yeah, because it's free food.
All right, what were we talking about?
All right, let's tie this back in because I think you are a person that I would not like to inherit any kind of business. Great segue. Great segue.
Oh, I have a good question. Did you ever think about doing your own business?
No idea in particular. Actually, some idea in particular. Going back to what we were talking about briefly, I don't know how we got off a tangent that we went on, but I was talking about how I looked into food trucks and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
Because I have like concepts for food trucks that I think might work, but I don't know how the restaurant industry nor how do I know how to cook. So
And the worst part is like I am like your best resource, but because of me, you're like I'd rather fucking like you're like nah.
Ben, you and I are never going to business
You're
together.
you're like I'd rather trust a lunch lady. That's what it is.
I rather trust someone that just eats chicken and broccoli.
What the fuck does that even mean?
There's people that boil their chicken and boil their broccoli, and that's like their primary meal
Wow.
because they just don't know how to fucking cook. I would rather trust someone like that.
Oh.
So I did kind of look into doing like a food truck kind of stuff, but it's expensive because of the permits, and then you have to buy the truck. The truck itself, either one that's fully equipped to actually cook in the truck,
Makes
or
sense.
you buying like a new truck and then paying the money to actually convert it. It's 6 figures, so it's just as bad.
Like 100K.
Easy 100K. A used truck is like way over 100K.
Really?
Think of it. A car itself costs how much? A van that large costs how much? Now the investment and the equipment inside to
right.
convert it costs how much? And then you have the permits.
Is it true like at certain spots if you want it, it costs certain amount of money and stuff? Like if you want to be on Times Square, it costs like a lot of money.
Those
to do
people
that.
have permits, yeah.
But it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah. So it's fucking tough. It's not like you could just pop open like a stand and just go park yourself in the middle of Times Square.
What is the best business plan right now to do, Lingjie? You are a genius. If we're gonna do a business, what's the go-to?
Once again, this is not any kind of financial advice. If you can do something that's not tangible,
Sell
which means
drugs.
digital
sorry.
goods,
Oh.
coaching, if it's information, if it's consulting, because the world that we live in now, you can have a bigger clientele base. You're not limited to like a regional location. So anything brick and mortar, you are basically limited to a regional place. And even places that do online businesses, you're competing against giants like Amazon, like Walmart and shit like that. You cannot buy at that scale and profit. So it has to be something, if you're selling a general product that anyone else like Amazon can buy, I think it's absolutely fucking hard. But digital goods like consulting, information, there's no overhead costs for the most part.
Okay.
And then your customer base can theoretically be unlimited.
Oh, you guys heard it first. Lingjie's giving some knowledge bombs right here.
I get 10% commission of all your ideas, by the way, guys. So if you do anything that's remotely like this, I'm going to find you.
So yeah, brick and mortars, bad idea.
Not a bad idea. I don't want to.
You don't want to be like, yeah, I'm gonna crush your dream.
Right. I don't want to discourage someone. Maybe that's a good way to wrap this up. If you're a kid that has a family business right now and you want to take over it because you genuinely either love the business itself or you just want to do good to your parents by, not seeing, let's say, their hard work just be gone.
A legacy.
Carry on that legacy, even though it may not be the best financial choice.
I'm gonna just run my mom's beauty salon, but I'm not cutting anyone's hair. So this is my business idea. You come in, I provide all the tools, and I say, do whatever you like.
How the fuck do you give yourself a self haircut, dude?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'll be like $30 right there.
You want to be like the WeWorks of salon. Here's an open office environment. You guys just pick a desk, you sit down, you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
There you go, bro. It's like, yo, we have Wi-Fi, we got scissors, hair dryers.
And you better have a lot of bandages.
A lot of bandages. Yes.
You should have like a room in the back where if you just fuck up on everything, there's a guy there just to like buzz cut your whole head, just like shave it all that shit off.
Yeah, I could do that.
Erase over the mistakes.
I could do that.
So I was saying, like, if you're gonna do something like that, all props to you, 100% props to you. And if you're in a situation where you're not taking over a family business because you have a better avenue and your parents are completely supportive of that, I think you have the best of both worlds.
If you are a business legacy holder, I don't know what you call these kids, you're in a good spot.
Hopefully
you're not backrupt. or like you're gambling debt or some shit.
Shout out to the parents that are creating more debt for their kids.
Yeah, actually, I gotta talk to my mom now. And man, she's like, yeah, son, it's all been transferred already and stuff like that.
Back when you were washing that one singular customer's head, we were just signing for you on the side. All right, getting on to our favorite segment of the whole podcast, ranting and raving. This is the part of the podcast where Ben and I take a couple minutes just to bitch about anything going on in our lives or to rave about something good. All right, Ben, you're sick, you're tired, your brain is really not working today. What do you want to vent to me about? before I vent about you. Again.
After I'm done, I'm literally just gonna walk away.
We have a second recording.
Yes, I don't want to hear a rant. That's why. The World Baseball Classics just ended. Japan has won.
Can you explain to the non-sports fans what the World Baseball Classic is?
So there's a sport called baseball. It's an American pastime. But what they do, it's kind of like the FIFA of baseball. Where
Can you explain what FIFA is?
FIFA is like the global soccer tournament where every country represents their team.
Can you explain what a team is?
A team is a collective of people that have a skill.
What is a skill?
A skill is a characteristic or an ability.
Why were you late today?
It's one of my skills and characteristics. So I excel at that.
Okay, I'll stop talking. Sorry.
So the World Baseball Classics, Shohei Ohtani, I feel like I always talk about Ohtani, but he hit a fucking bomb, right? It was held in Japan.
Yes.
When you get the baseball, right? If you're one of the fans in the stand, right? You get the ball, right? You're like, I'm gonna keep this, right? But you know the people of Japan does? They take the ball and they pass it around so everyone could take a picture of it.
And then they pass it back to the person
And
that
they
caught
pass it back to the same person.
Bro, if that was America and you let go of that ball to the person next to you to take a picture of it, that motherfucker's running the hell away.
I'm robbing you, bro.
He's running out of the stadium.
Yeah, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it. But like you see everyone like, take a picture, pass it down. Take a picture, pass it down. They were so polite about it. Japan, you guys are great. Man, like that was just so fucking cool. You're not going to see that ever.
You're not. Oh, I've totally forgot to talk about this during the regular part of it.
Yeah.
As I love to always talk about, Japanese birth rates.
It's on the rise.
Our reoccurring segment, Japanese birth rates, and has your plan succeeded to go to Japan to help out with that situation?
Not yet. It's coming soon. It's in the works. That's
all right. One quick little tidbit about this that ties into the regular part of this episode was there are some places in Japan where they're also having successor issues, where there are these large scale, let's say factories or companies, where they don't have anyone that wants to fucking take over.
Really?
Because there's like less kids overall, right? So there is a smaller population. But also of the ones that are there, they just don't want to take it over. So there was this New York Times article about this random business on like this semi-secluded island, but very successful business.
Okay.
He was just trying to give away the business.
Just like, yo, take it. I'm done with it.
I need someone to move to this island, do this business because it can only be done here.
Guys, there's a free business that you could claim right now. This is like a promo code that you could just take and stuff.
But you probably have to move to that random island in the middle of nowhere. This isn't downtown Tokyo that you're going to, guys.
Yo, you know what you would want? Imagine fucking Suntory whiskey. They're like, yo, just take it.
Yo,
you would want that.
I would swim to Japan.
Yeah, you would be like, fuck it. I'm moving there. I'm set.
I would take over that shit completely.
Ooh, I gotta taste everything.
I had that in the back of my mind and we just completely forgot to talk about this. So yeah, free business in Japan. Once again, low birth rate is the reason why they have a problem with actually passing on their businesses.
Yeah, shit, man.
Okay, what I have to rave and bitch about this week. It's a bitch.
All right, I'm out, guys. Peace.
It's not about you, Ben.
Oh,
I'll save it for the next episode. Oof. I hate watching TV shows or movies where the ending is ambiguous.
What show? Give me an example.
I was watching The Glory, which is a K-drama on Netflix. Very, very popular. I think it's a pretty good show. I don't watch much K-drama, so I don't have much to compare it to. But I hate ambiguous or even semi-ambiguous endings. Tell me what the fuck is gonna happen. Tell me it's a good ending. Tell me it's a bad ending. I don't give a shit. I'm watching a thing not to use my imagination. So I have no imagination. Tell me what's gonna happen.
What's it called again? Glory?
The Glory. But I'm not just shitting on that show. I'm just shitting on overall any TV show. Don't leave me on a cliffhanger as the ending. I don't mind cliffhangers if it leads into another season. Tell me what's gonna happen.
What's it? Inception. Were you pissed at the ending? And it doesn't show.
So you weren't sure if he was actually in an Inception thing or not. Yes, I fucking hated that.
Me too.
Just tell me what it is. Like, I want a concrete answer, or at least I want like 95% of the way that, it's clearly gonna go to this, but they just haven't showed the final income. Why are you people doing this? Is it just so that you can have a cliffhanger for a possible second season?
Yo, it's like the show Lost. Remember that shit?
That Lost has the worst ending ever.
Yo, I was so fucking pissed.
I invested so much time in Lost.
Right?
Years of watching Lost.
Dude, and they said...
religiously watching that bullshit show.
They said that they were going to explain everything. I remember the producer, J.J. Abrams, he's like, don't worry, everything's going to make sense at the end. They didn't explain shit.
It was such a cop-out ending.
Do you know what it was, right? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's what it was.
Maybe I'll beep that part out in case you want to binge Lost and you get really pissed at the end.
If you want to waste your time and just be pissed off, go watch Lost.
So what is worse, a cop-out ending or an ambiguous ending to a movie or TV show?
Ooh, I'm gonna say a cop out. I think. So.
You think so?
Because ambiguous is kind of like it's still technically like, oh, there's a meaning behind it. There's like a message.
I guess.
I don't know, but like cop out is just that's just fucking bullshit.
It's like we couldn't explain everything or tie everything together, so we're just gonna say that beep.
I just got mad just thinking about Lost. Holy shit, I forgot how bad Lost was.
You just made yourself more upset.
Yeah, I remember everything about it, like the polar bear, the numbers,
The smoke,
yeah, dude. Oh
the
my-
random Australian guy in the hole.
Yeah, holy shit, I forgot about that guy. Yeah, man. What the fuck?
He literally came from down under. All right, guys, we're at the outro. This is the part where Ben takes over. Please go, Ben.
Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. I struggled mightily. Lingjie was LeBron James and carried the team on his shoulders. But I guess what you can do in the meantime is you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Rumble. What else is there?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, Microsoft Zune. I think that still
Did you
works.
say Microsoft Zune?
I think that's still a thing. Yeah.
Are you combining Zoom and Microsoft, or are you talking about the MP3 player?
The MP3 player.
Oh my
There
God.
you go.
Hey, guys, reach out to us if you ever owned a Microsoft Zoom MP3 player. Are you sure it's called Zoom?
I think it's a Zune. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Zune with the N.
Zune.
Zoon.
What's
Plug
it?
our socials.
Plug our socials. I just repeated what he said. You can find us at Workstation Pod on IG, on TikTok, on the YouTube. We also have our monthly
We
subscription.
have no videos on the YouTube yet because Ben keeps picking his nose throughout the whole episode.
All right. I guess I gotta, shave my nose hair. On top of that, you can find us on our monthly subscriptions. We are on Spotify and Apple. Just want to say thank you so much for our listeners out
Yes,
there.
we do great fun bonus stuff there. We did like our top superpowers. We did our favorite Guinness World Records, our favorite movies. We do lots of like fun, random things that just let our personalities shine even more than they already are.
There you go. Our most recent episode, people that we would like to have dinner with, dead or alive.
Yes.
Lingjie has some good choices. I was actually surprised by that.
Subscribe or don't subscribe. It's perfectly fine with us. One thing that you can do is leave us a 5-star review. That really does help us with the algorithms. So Spotify, Apple, if you're up to this part of the podcast, I think you can spend a couple more seconds, even just scrolling down and giving us that thing. Written reviews are always nice as well. And most importantly, tell your friends about us. Share this podcast, share your favorite episode. Tell them, hey, I know these dumb guys on the internet, and if you don't like them, they'll give you $2. That's a false offer.
Oh, okay, great. I was going to say, we'll split it, you and me, $1 each.
All right, this is the part of the podcast where I like to shout out a couple small AAPI businesses. Once again, if you are a small AAPI business and you want a free plug or shout out on the podcast, reach out to me on Instagram, free of charge. We'll get some details about you guys. And as long as you're not a Ponzi scheme, we're glad to shout you out. Okay, the next business I want to give a shout out to is Alice Health. We actually got a chance to meet with one of the co-founders, Alice.
Oh, yeah. I remember Alice. It was nice having dinner with her.
Yes, it was very nice. We had dinner together with a bunch of other people after an event. But Alice runs a platform called Alice Health. That's ANISE Health. Alice, like the star of Alice.
Yeah.
So her and her co-founder, Nisha, they founded the platform. They both have years of experience in the healthcare industry. So the platform itself is something that she's trying to work on in terms of curating a community or a place where you can get easy access for the AAPI community to talk about their mental health.
Yes.
Because I think she mentioned that night, and we've learned throughout this podcast that there is a lot of stigma within our population about even dealing with our mental health issues.
She's doing really good work with that. It's a great idea.
If you guys want to check it out, that's anishealth.co. You can also find them on social media at the exact same handle, Anis Health. They match digital mental health services with users, and they incorporate therapists. They really are trying their best to serve an underserved market.
On a serious note, I found out during COVID that there was a huge uptick in Asians going through anxiety, depression.
So shout out to Alice and Nisha for starting this company. Please go check them out if you guys need any help as well. Next, I want to give a shout out to Gong Fu Cha.
Oh.
You can check them out at West China Tea or at westchinatea.com. Once again, on social media at West China Tea. They specialize in farm direct and artisanal direct tea and teaware.
Oh.
The business is run by Sohan Fan. He's a first generation Chinese born American.
Oh, damn.
So he's got some good culture on his background. His father came from to Hong Kong and he grew up
So-
drinking a lot of Chinese tea. So it's always good when you can grow a business out of an interest that you already have.
Yeah.
So guys, please check out all their teas and their accessories over at westchinatea.com and find them on social media at westchinatea.
That's pretty dope, man. I like that.
Thank you. Once again, if you guys have a business that you want to shout out on the podcast, please reach out to me on social media. Always got to give you guys a helping hand. Ben is going to drink a lot of honey and drink a lot of caffeine and get himself ready for the next recording, which is happening in 5 minutes.
Dun, dun, dun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun because Ben has not yet thought of a topic for that episode that's happening in fucking 5 minutes.
Oh, kill me right now. I love you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Bye.
Love you. Bye.